Hi. Oh, sorry. I have a thing. I have this thing now. Hi, it's Cynthia from Cheerful Nihilism. I've come over to the dark side. I mean, both pronunciations are correct. But you know, there's a certain je ne sais quoi that comes with using the term nihilism. Thank you for watching me and being entertained by my stuff. I decided to film this in front of my work area because I am a gig economy professional, I guess is what you would call it. I run Cheerful Nihilism, the page, create content for the YouTube channel, and I do it all myself. So I film it, I edit it, I do all of the merch management, so I have a merch site on Redbubble. I still have the one on Teespring too if you want to check it out. It has a lot less stuff on it. And then I also do, I am a contractor with Appen, and then I also teach English online to children in China. So as a result, I have like, I don't know, like 6 different jobs that I do. Oh, and another thing that I do for my gig economy is I am a brand ambassador for Poppy Apparel. So if you go to their site and use my discount code CheerfulNihilism10, you can get 10% off. The thing I liked about Poppy Apparel when they reached out to me is that they give opportunities to up and coming like new clothing designers. So I feel like that kind of resonates with my own approach to business. And you can help me earn like a percentage of the sale, so that would be cool. I always use that phrase. It's funny because, is it? Probably not. I never really had any plans. When I started, it was just something to do that was not, I didn't feel competitive with anyone about. And it was like a creative outlet for me to you know, like vent my frustrations in a world where everything is meaningless and the institutions and organizations and everything that I'd grown up to, you know, invest my faith and trust in have failed me, ultimately. And I'm not being a victim here. This is the context that I live in. But I like it. I enjoy working. I'm a workaholic. Like, if I didn't work all the time, I would probably have like a really severe drug habit. So, you know, you pick your battles and you go with whatever's the most socially appropriate drug of choice. I reach out to content creators, like mostly graphic designers, and it's people that it's people that I know who are really good creators or designers, artists, that really don't want to have anything to do with social media, but I feel like their stuff is really awesome. So I'm like, well, since I work in social media and web search evaluation and distance education, and I am basically online all the time, let me help you. You know, I would like to connect more to people on an individual level, and I just don't necessarily feel comfortable doing that on a broader platform. So here we are. I'm still like blown away at the professional collaborations and opportunities that I've been able to have just because I started a meme page because I was depressed about my life. So whenever I partner with a creator, I always split all of my profits with them, 50%. Basically, my business model is to create a giant circle jerk of mutual benefit where I can... all I want to do is have like an existence that allows me the capacity to financially facilitate the gain of other people who are creators and makers and artists who don't necessarily have the social media immersion and saturation that I do. You know, and I like it. I'm on the autism spectrum. I like the online environment. It's the way that I feel comfortable socializing. And, you know, it's always been since I first was able to get online in 1993. Being social online is something that I can do. I can gain mastery over, and it's not necessarily something I can do in person because I'm a pretty awkward person in person. many times when we are suffering from mental illness or struggling with trauma and circumstances in life that suck and are really hard, you feel alone. You don't have the energy to seek out other people. And, a bunch of wounded people aren't necessarily going to have the effort or, the capacity to make that connection. When you're in that dark place, which I like to call the oubliette, from Labyrinth, if you recognize it, it's a place they put people to forget about them. I really ascribe to the ideas of Viktor Frankl, who was an existential psychologist. Fundamental philosophies of logotherapy are that life is inherently meaningless. And, whether or not it has meaning or not, if there is some greater objective meaning, you can't really perceive it because you're trapped in your, single person tunnel vision perspectives. You can make your own meaning. For me, that involves identifying what I want and value. And I'm not talking about material goods or things. I'm talking about ideas, concepts, feelings that I want to move towards. And then I focus my efforts and energy and attention on moving towards that. Until the last few years, I never really I didn't have that orientation. And I focused a lot of my attention on the things that I didn't want, the things that made me unhappy, the things that made me miserable. And because I focused on those things, I kind of made my whole life about avoiding the things that I didn't want. And then as a result, my whole life was full of shit that I didn't want to deal with and focusing on things that made me miserable, and everything was magnified. Focusing on going towards what I want does not mean that I don't have emotions or that I'm happy all the time. I'm always full of joy. It means that I understand that there's good and bad and everything it is what it is. I hate that saying because it's so trite, but it's true, right? Good or bad. What's happening right now in this moment is what's happening, and it is your choice what you can think about it. God, even when my dad died, I kind of had that visceral experience of grieving intensely for somebody that I really loved and lost, who was very close to me. And then at points being so overcome with grief that I had to make the conscious choice to say, I'm just not going to think about this for a while because I need to move forward and survive and focus on what I have to do next. My dad told me if you can laugh at it, you can live with it. Come on.